stay fly, stay fly.
When you talk about the bacteria and all these different things that goes into making who we are, you're talking about the universe connecting.
Right.
And how is it connecting? It's connecting through water. Understand that if this air is dry, I can't, my lungs are going to be dry. Right. So even the very air that you breathe has to have moisture in it. Right.
You're listening to The Fly Guy Show. They do everything on the fly and in such a fly manner. Stay fly, stay fly, stay fly.
After all that Bacardi, the views expressed by the guests are only the views of the guests, unless we say we agree, unless explicitly stated.
Hey, this is Ernie Thomas here on the Volt School Podcast. You're listening to Psycho Vonner's Fly Guy Podcast. Support, like, subscribe, and share. He's saying some good things. Share it. Don't keep it to yourself.
Peace, beloved. Peace, beloved. Peace, beloved. It's time for another great episode of Get On Code, the Fly Guy Show, combined with the Beach Brothers Show. Beach Brothers, where we celebrate Virginia business and politics, and Get On Code, where we have a series of melanated conversations focused on improving our collective situation. And today I have with me the business owner, the visionary, the hydrator. I jokingly call him Aquaman. Brother Chris Harrison from Family Springs. How you doing, Chris?
Man, I'm good, Seiko. Man, how you doing, brother?
All right, man. Today we're going to be talking about life, man. We're going to be talking about life, hence the Ankh symbol. We're going to be talking about hydration and alkaline water and the business of water. It's intriguing, man. So you just shared with me that water is now on the stock exchange.
Yes, indeed.
Why don't we start there? Let's blow everybody's mind, man. You've been talking about this for about 5 years since I've known you. So, water on the stock exchange. So now we're exchanging stocks for water.
Yeah.
Please explain.
Oh, man, it's funny, Seiko, because, we go back, and this has been since day one, and man, I just felt that there was so much opportunity to share with everyone, because we have to be in tune with our world and our surroundings, and just understanding the value of water and everything else that we hold value to, like precious metals and paper, those material aspects that we can really go without. But the one aspect that we can't go without that they say is less than, 2 to 3% accessible. And, I just think that the value in water was just always there, and they just didn't look for ways to exploit it, or it was just a way from drawing attention to it. So they put it in everything else. They create this value for it. But I mean, it just says the same thing. If you're not doing that, if you're not investing in the one thing that is less a commodity and less of a resource, then what else are we here for?
And we have one of the viewers who is saying water. Yeah, so water. That's interesting. So now that we've dropped the bomb about water being on the stock exchange, let's start by who you are and what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Chris Harrison, owner and distributor of Family Springs Alkaline Water. We distribute water throughout the Hampton Rings, the Hampton Roads area, the DC, Maryland area, and Jersey. What we do is we specialize into catering to small businesses. So our main thing is not looking for the big companies and to get our stores into the big. It's to mainly focus on the small businesses, because a lot of times I think as a part of selling out as entrepreneurs, we look so much to get into the big market, and we end up leaving behind the markets that originally grew us and brought us up. And then we look at supporting more of those bigger brands, and it pulls us away from the things that grew us. And I feel like we can draw the attention right here into the home of the community, into the village, with that same aspect. And I believe water is one of those things that can draw us together. I mean, it unifies everything. So
okay. So look, we can sell anything in the world. Anything in the world can be sold. There's a business line, there's a vertical for everything. You just mentioned getting rich in your niche of water. What made you decide to sell water? You could have sold clothes, you could have sold real estate, could have sold stocks. What made you decide to sell water?
Well, when I first came across this type of water, I was intrigued because growing up in the inner city, you only drink what's readily available to you and accessible, right? So, and always being in those urban areas, you always get, basically the same thing. So, my cousin was actually had these bottles of water and was like, man, try this. I'm selling these. And I'm like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, it's water, man. I tried it. And I'm like, man, I've never had anything like this. The taste is completely different. And it took me outside of my environment, which is one of those things why we should travel and so forth, because, we should always be a part of our environment, So I thought that was major. And when I was able to bring it and share it with other people, they were actually blown away by the taste and all that as well. So I'm almost like, man, this is something amazing to it, right? So I started doing research on alkaline water and so forth, and come to find out a lot of the health benefits. I looked for things to deter me, for me believing in the aspect of it, and was more intrigued by the information that I started to research, and how health is wealth, and how it connects all levels of existence, and a lot of the things that we're plagued by and we struggle, whether it's financial or whether it's spiritual or physical, it all has to do with water. Like, water exists on every plane of existence. So, you can't take that. It's a base. It's the basis of all life. You know what I mean? It's a solution. So, right. Seiko, I can go on and on and on, man.
All right, well, you're saying that it can cure things.
Yeah.
So, all right, so what can alkaline water cure?
Plug it in. I got my phone
live,
in here
right?
too, trying to do the little Facebook Live thing. But you said, what can water cure? So,
yeah, what can water cure?
When you look at chronic pain, there's really never a set specific target point where it says this is what the problem is. When you talk about chronic pain, it's always a list of different things that can cause chronic pain. But when you get down to the basis of what our bodies normally do, which is dehydration is a part of our life and our cycle and our metabolic, so we produce acid through this. So as we're constantly fighting the acidity battle, we have to constantly be building ourselves back up, which is alkalinity. Right. So you have to stay hydrated. Right. So if we're not staying hydrated, then we're losing out, on a lot. And just to, my fault, I don't want to get too off, but repeat your question again so I can touch the bases on that.
Well, my question was, what can water cure? One of the Facebook users says everything. Water can cure everything. It's the fact that on a cellular level, you're looking at curing and providing what a cell needs. So you're talking about oxygen and you're talking about hydration, right? And then you're talking about alkaline earth metals, which are salts. So your body needs those things. It's kind of like those main components to actually getting your body going and giving it the right tools that it needs to do its job. For one, the alkaline salts gives access to inside the cell. So you need a key. You need a key to get inside the cell, right? Which is basically like our skin. Our skin is our level of protection. You have a cell membrane, which is a level of protection, gains access inside. In there, the water is and it brings oxygen and it brings nutrients inside. So there, you're looking at providing a
pH balance within the cell that is going to actually help to clean your body and give it the ability to fight all those different diseases that plague it, right? It's the neutralizing effect of chronic pain is acidity. And the way to neutralize that is with a base. And that's what alkaline is. It's a base. Then you talk about minerals.
You're getting all Dr. Sebi on us.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment because the brother,
yes.
he was a genius, you know? He was a genius way ahead of his time, you know?
All right, so if I drink regular water, like, you know, this is tap water. I just use this bottle, but this is tap water. What's the difference between me drinking and consuming, you know, tap water and the alkaline water that your firm, Family Springs, provides?
Right. So when you're drinking tap water, you're looking at a lot of chemicals that are already back in there. So a lot of times it's brought back through your plumbing system and so forth, right? And now whatever, you know, drugs that are into that system, those things are a lot of times hard to be filtered out, and it goes back into city water because city water a lot of times is recycled back and through the same piping system. So when it's through the same piping system, Mother Nature really gets their hands back on it. Now they actually do a level of aeration and bacteria that they put into, which is a part of cleaning water. Like there's different processes. If you look at sewage treatment plants and so forth, like a lot of people don't really want to be aware of that and how you get your drinking water, but everything is a cycle. We still have the same amount of water since the beginning that God first made this place. So, you know, you have to think, you know.
I gotta let that process. You're telling me that the water that we consume, that we bathe in, that we spray each other with, is the same water that's been here since the beginning of our planet?
Yeah, we don't lose any. I mean, like it doesn't leave and go into outer space, you know, and it's not something, it's still here. It's always been here. The same amount. So how it's displaced among this earth it has to do with us. Or somebody hiding the water, you know what I mean? Or it's stored, but the same amount of water has always been there. It's not going anywhere. It's a universal cycle. So it's meant to continue on.
I hadn't considered it.
I mean, in the beginning of the Bible, it says, and whether you believe it or not, but God separated the waters from above, from the waters from below. Right, so then that's telling you right there that it's a complete cycle of evolution that involves water. And when God moved across the face of the water, so consciousness is in the water, the spirit is in the water. So if I want to pass information to every living organism that needs me and needs to hear my voice, I'm gonna pass it through the water.
Interesting.
Stay in tune. It's all about being in tune. Every living organism has to be in harmony.
And so our bodies, people say it's 90% water?
75, you know, you hear a lot, but even then when you start breaking into science and the knowledge of, you know, your brain is 85 or your eyes is 88% water, and you start breaking down, it's like, you know, like we are water, period. We're walking water bottles. You know,
all right, well, so then you're selling us what we already are.
Basically. But see, this is how it works, though. So organizations and so forth, everything else, it sells you products to dehydrate you, right? Because that's where the process is. Smoking, you know, drinking, you know, all these things dehydrate your body. I mean, your body naturally dehydrates through metabolism. You know what I mean? So, like, everything in life is about dehydration. So, you need something on the other side to give you the balance. You know? So, like, that is where you're at in this resource. you know, and society and everything, because the more dehydrated it is, the more medication, the more things that you're going to need, you know, to fix your ailments and your problems. So you have to come back and continue to rely on me, you know? So.
All right, well, that's intriguing. All right, yeah, that's intriguing. So you've made a business out of this. So you're actually profitable, and you actually have people working under you in this venture. So tell us a little bit about the business of selling water. Like, how did you get started in the business? You told us how you got intrigued about it and how you were attracted to it, but how did you get started in the business of distributing water?
The business came, I was really trying to get in with a connection with through my cousin, and just had different points of views. So, you know, I really had a heart for the community and wanting to see how can I be involved in the entrepreneurship of, you know, I've grown up with all my life. It was just in me to say, okay, there's something here, and there's something that I think can help a lot of people if we just go ahead and jump in on it all together, because this is something that undoubtedly unifies. Like, I don't care where you're at within the Bible, you know, water either separated or unified, you know, through flooding, you know, or through separating, you know, the river. So it's just so much that's involved in it. I was like, okay, I think this is my real calling, you know, and the Lord put it there to me. The Lord gave me plenty of people to support me. They gave me the confidence to walk away from my job, you know. So I definitely say, you know, we talk about walking out on faith. Faith is what it is. It is what it is. It's nothing else there that's rigid. It's just walking. So walk on water. You know, have faith.
Okay, that's intriguing. That's intriguing. So you tell us about the business or the firm or the job that you walked away from. That's a lot of faith. So what did you walk away from?
Government job, you know, which is one.
You walked away from a good government job.
Yeah, Sego, I know, man. Yeah, I walked away from, you know,
benefits?
17 years, 18, 19 years, man. Yeah. Man, and it was just like, but see, it was, you know, a lot of people ask me how, and it was one of those things where I felt my body being at unease. Like, I was in great shape. You know, I was hydrated, you know what I mean? I was doing all the things, and I was fixing my daughter, you know, dinner, and I got lightheaded. And just out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, and I had to lay down. I was like, you know, and this is, you know, I'm working all day, and then I'm getting off, and then trying to be at events and going from here to here and delivering water, and, you know, days off, and it's just a continuous, it was like, choose one. And it was like, you know, the Lord said, hey, look, I gave you people in your corner. You asked me for everything, and here you go. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do? Chose it, you know, so.
I didn't realize that this was such a faith walk for you.
Yeah, it has been. It has been. It continues, you know. Like, you know, many, we talk about, you know, and that's, you know, not judging any of that, but, you know, when we say faith and not really having the full ability to know what's ahead of us, it means trusting. And you know, there's things, if we're open, we'll see the signs that's saying that supports our beliefs. We'll see them. You know what I mean? But whether or not we still need another one. We still need another sign. It's like we still need another sign. All right, give me another one then. Okay. So it's like, after a while, it's like, you know, people die doing something that they don't enjoy doing. I enjoy doing this, you know, and I believe everybody should do what they enjoy doing, you know. The business aspect of it, you know, the paperwork, I can find somebody else to do it, but the overall is so much involved in water. I just want us all to be involved in it, man, to know what's going on, because, you know, it affects, you know, your genetic makeup. You know, your DNA is bonded by water. So if somebody put something in the water and change the water, it changes your genetic makeup, you know? Water.
How is this COVID environment that we're living in? How has that been impacted, or how has your business been impacted by this COVID experience that we're having?
It was very hard at first. It was very hard at first, being that when everything shut down, it limited my products, the things that I need, my goods. So, bottles and all those things, they were shut down. So, I struggled for a little bit, at that point, but it was, we had basically bet on the fact of us needing more 5 gallons and, kind of one of those things. And next thing you know, it was like, once again, I give them these biblical references because it just always connects. And it's like the Lord say, told Noah to build an ark, and he did it, and it was like, then it was a flood. So like, that was mainly what it was. It was preparing. So we did get there, and got through that part with some struggle, but it's water. And everybody was being taught to buy water and, to believe in alkaline water. Like, look, I was selling alkaline water before the doctors endorsed it. So now they're endorsing it, and, it makes it a little bit more easier, but it's a lot of businesses now, and it's good.
Okay. So I'm just enamored, man. I didn't realize it was such a spiritual walk for you. I knew it was a business, and I knew it had to be a tough business. But you saw something in this business, in this experience, that really must have been a blessing to others. So give us a story or give us an example of how your product, this alkaline water, has changed somebody's life.
So I got quite a few, but I'm gonna start with this one. One of a good friend of mine, he said he had actually gave his dog some of the alkaline water, and his dog had rashes on it, and all of a sudden the dog rashes started to clear up, And I'll start there. The reason why I start there because somebody gave it to their animal and it showed, the skin, and a lot of times we practice things, so when you talk about doctors and so forth, they test things on animals to see if things work just because we're talking about cells, cells on whatever it is, we're still talking about a cellular nature. So I say that to say there are other people that have had stomach issues, have gotten better through the alkaline water. There's some people that are able to go to the bathroom easier, which is one of those things that you should be able to do. How your stool comes out is very, very important, and lets you know what your health is like. So it lets you know whether you're dehydrated or not. So it's things like that.
Hold on, you telling me I can tell if I'm healthy, if I'm dehydrated or not by my excrement?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You sure can, because if you're struggling for it to come out, understanding that once it goes through, once you eat your food and it goes through your stomach and then it passes through your intestines, right, where that neutralizing acidity has to happen before it burns a hole in your intestines, right? So your pancreas releases an alkaline juice, right, that actually neutralizes that so it doesn't burn a hole in your intestines. Now, as nutrients is being absorbed from your pancreas, from your intestines, it goes into your large intestines. Now, from that part, everything is squeezed out. So it's trying to squeeze because we're talking about preservation, right? Water preservation. So the body naturally wants to retain as much water because it knows it needs it. So it squeezes as much water out of your excrement as it's passing through your large intestine. Now, your large intestine. So the harder it is for it to squeeze water out, the harder it is for you to have a bowel movement because it's very dry. And now you're having pebbles instead of a long, solid, smooth transition. out of your rectum. So you can tell a lot about how your diet is based on, your stool and what it looks like and what it feels like, and whether it's floating, there's a lot of fat that's in your diet. Because that's basically, you have living organisms within you. And so like those things, and you want to get all that out of you. So you need to be passing that. If you're not, then you have an acidic and toxic waste environment within your body.
What are some other ways where I can tell if I'm healthy or not, if I'm hydrated or not?
Well, your urine, that's always a telltale sign. The color of your urine. If it's clear, it still should have like a yellowish tint, due to nutrients and stuff like that. But outside of that, if it's really dark and yellow, brownish, then yeah, you're super dehydrated, because your kidneys are filtering a lot of junk. And, your kidneys are working extra hard to filter. So, like, that becomes a whole different thing as, it's going through these nephron loops within your kidney as it's filtering, because it has to get that balance out, And, the harder your kidneys have to work, basically, the harder it is for your body, because it's leaving all that acidity in there.
Okay, great. Let's check out your website, man. So when I go to familysprings.com, I just had the website up on the page, familysprings.com, and I can check out your website. Walk me through your website, man. What are some of the highlights of your website?
Man, that's awesome, man. So, yeah, if you go through, I was offering at one point, which was the prize of our whole thing, was the membership subscriptions. So our membership subscriptions, they started off with copper, silver, and gold. And each one of those memberships, they were able to basically buy water with a membership price and get discounted on every additional 5-gallon case that you get. So you got one included with it, and then each additional 5-gallon case came at a discounted price. So, it was almost like buying your rate down on your mortgage on your home or something like that. When you want to buy rates down and you buy your points. So basically, same concept. And it's funny because when I started off, I had the little stock exchange bar going across the top of my website. That showed the price of what we sold our water for, and, what it was going for in our retailers and so forth. So.
All right. And you have merch too. You have merch. So you have merchandise. That's good. That's good to see. I'm liking that. But tell me about artesian alkaline water. What's the difference between alkaline water and artesian alkaline water?
Sure. So artesian alkaline water is free-flowing water that flows above ground. All right, so this water comes from a natural spring, free flows at 70 to 74 degrees all year round. So you can actually see one of the days we went up there, it was about 17 degrees outside, and you can see the steam coming from up out of the water, and natural minerals and so forth from an aquifer underground, and that's what it is.
All right, well, you mentioned, one example where a person's dog was able to benefit from the alkaline water, the artesian alkaline water. What's another example of where somebody really benefited from it?
Yeah, I had a partner. He this is just recently. He has eczema stuff on his hand, and hand was breaking out real bad. He had just got the water. Let's see, he started ordering, 5 bottles, at a time in a few cases. And this was just recently. I actually posted it on my Instagram so y'all can take a look at it, man. He's a comedian as well, man, so it's real funny. But and I get a lot of things where one of the funniest ones was I did at Booker T. I did at Booker T with a Black Brand. And one of the teachers that came down the hallway from one of the entrepreneur festivals and was like, oh man, one of my kids just said, man, this water, man, tastes like it came from the tears of Jesus. And it was hilarious, man, because the kids actually had a sensation of knowing what, you know what I mean, and having a comparison to say something like that, you know what I mean? It was funny, you know what I mean? But yeah, I actually had that on video too. I actually recorded that because that was something that I'll never forget. You know, it was probably about a couple years ago when we used to do the events at Booker T.
All right, we're going through your Instagram page now, Family Springs. Are there family springs in other areas of our beautiful country?
Yes, it is. There is Family Springs in the DC, Maryland area, so that metropolitan area right there. We're serving that Northern Virginia area. We're also in the New Jersey, Philly. We're in Philadelphia as well. They got all the way up to Newark. Yeah, got us on the road. I mean, yeah, these trips, sometimes, man, it's just amazing to know what we go through to get this water sometimes, I tell you.
All right. So in this particular, picture, you're saying that once we open up the flow of energy within our body, we can also open up the flow of energy in the universe. All right. Connect that with me with the water, man.
Okay,
maybe I'm too dense. Maybe I'm constipated. I'm trying to get it. I can't get it.
Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about William Wright. William Wright came out with the notion that your body has a bioluminescent that goes about 4 feet out from your body. So it's a energy field that your body is surrounded in. And if you think about the universe, right, or the ozone around, so your body basically has an ozone layer around it. All right. So we actually always project waves. So like a pebble that drops into a river, you know what I mean? It's gonna move, it's gonna propagate, right? So now we're talking about hydrogen. The sun is made up of hydrogen, right? Our world is made up of hydrogen. Everything that we are made up of basically is either hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen, right? So when you talk about the bacteria and all these different things that goes into making who we are, you're talking about the universe connecting. And how is it connecting? It's connecting through water. Understand that if this air is dry, my lungs are going to be dry, right? So even the very air that you breathe has to have moisture in it, right? So like understanding how much water is to us inside and out is super important to our body, you know?
Okay. We're going to take a break from the water for just a second because we have some great sponsors who help make sure that this show happens. I want to start with commonsenseforyou.org. That's commonsenseforyou.org. They have a great array of soaps, of other health beauty products that are vegan, that are natural. I have, my soap right here, and I've been a fan of this soap and this product for years. So if you like to have health, if you want to have health, then you need to make sure that you not only drink the right water, the alkaline water from Family Springs, not only do you eat the right food, but you also need to make sure that whatever you put on your body, your body, your skin is your biggest organ, whatever you put on your skin is healthy. So commonsenseforyou.org, that's commonsenseforyou.org. If you go to their website, they have the herbal tooth powder. Toothpaste isn't necessarily the best stuff for everybody. So if you want to make sure you have the best stuff for everybody, get some of that herbal tooth powder. And I tell you what, I really love the lavender sugar scrub cubes. Right. I also use the bug oil. They have some bug off oil that really makes sure that, when you're outside with nature, getting that great vitamin D, that the mosquitoes don't kill you. Because the mosquitoes will kill you. Also, if you're facing any credit problems or tax problems, get in contact with my firm, Positive Vibes Incorporated. We help with credit fixes, tax resolution. We lend private money to real estate investors. So if you are a real estate investor, I can provide you with 90% of the purchase price of that investment property and 100% of the rehab for that investment property. Here's a great example. One of my clients in the, what is this? This was in Maryland. Property is in Maryland. This is the before picture. He purchased the property for $38K. It needed $58K, and we were able to give him 90% acquisition price and 100% of the rehab. So, look, we want to make sure that you know about these great services. So thank you to commonsenseforyou.org. That's, once again, commonsenseforyou.org. And check out my firm, Positive Vibes Incorporated. We can provide you with these great products and services to make sure that your fiscal health, your investment health is as beautiful, as bountiful as your physical health will be when you use Family Springs water. So Chris, man, give me some, what's the most inspirational thing that has happened for you on this Family Springs journey?
The most inspirational. Oh man, I don't know where to. I often get we appreciate you creating Family Springs, which I think is something that was needed for all of us, and just to focus on the importance of water, because I feel like we're more than just a bottled water company. I feel like we're supposed to bring a lot of the attention to the water crisis that's going on everywhere. I mean, we have our own water crisis here in the United States, and a lot of times we're focused on overseas, which are, gratefully so. But, we have our own water crisis here, and not just in, the Detroit area, but, often in other areas. So, I believe that it's a business that is something that, it's always in every old village, it was something that we sent the women to go get the water, and there's always a business for it. This is something that, I see you showing, the Office Depot, and this was something that, we have a lot of entrepreneurs and small businesses that, water is in your office, it's office supplies, we have to learn, why treat yourself to a better quality and higher quality of water.
Wow. I'm proud of you, bro. This is impressive. So if you want to get some more great sites, you can go to Chris's Instagram page, and the Instagram page is right here. Let me enlarge it so it can be seen very well. The Instagram page. Yeah, go to Family Springs on Instagram, and that way you can get some of his great content that can be found on his Instagram channel. Man. So you mentioned that somebody had eczema, and the eczema cleared up. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that somebody had stomach problems, and their stomach problems cleared up. What about somebody who might be facing mental challenges? Does water help with a better mentality, a smoother emotional state? Are there any emotive benefits to being hydrated?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I said before, your brain is 85% water. Matter of fact, your brain is, surrounded by, cerebral fluid. So you're talking about high mineral content that is within your brain, for connectivity. So all those different things, on Christmas lights, all those have to fire neurons, to connect for the speed, So now you're talking about sound waves, and sound wave travel faster in water. You know what I mean? So now you're talking about vibrationals. Like, the way the Lord made us is perfect in every sense. You know what I mean? Because, what's meant to affect certain areas is meant to affect it, and it's based on where your water content is at and where your most water content is at, in your hinges, in your knees, in certain areas that, where we need lubrication at, So, we have to put it into us, Like, if it doesn't get it, it's going to pull from other areas that it doesn't need to pull from. And then hence out, we end up losing out,
All right, good brother. Well, man, you've definitely given me a science lesson. I thought this was just going to be about business, but you went spiritual, you went scientific, and you went financial. So you went 3 areas that I totally love, man. I love this, brother. Well, look, I know on this particular, image that we used to promote the show, you talked about, well, actually you showed a picture of you and your beautiful daughter. So how has this impacted, your family, man? When I look at this picture and I see you holding your beautiful daughter, yeah, I'm sure she's proud of you, but how has this impacted your family?
Oh, man, tremendously. For my daughter having mine, so I'll give you a quick story. I'm in the kitchen cooking dinner, and daughter, she's sitting on the bar stool. She's, got her crowns and stuff out, and she's like, "Daddy, look." And I looks over, and she has all her crowns like organized, color pencils, crowns, and sharpeners and glues. And I was like, "What's this?" She was like, "I opened up a coloring store, and you can come in and pick up your crowns." And then she's 7. So, no, when she did this, she was 6. And it just blew my mind because it was a mindset thing. Like, she's been with me since the very beginning of this journey, of me starting Family Springs and going through this. And, she's endured and went through a lot of meetings and long time, so it's a part of her, and when I used to go pick her up from school and she was in kindergarten, all the kids, "Hey, your dad sells water, you sell water," It was like the biggest thing, and she was so proud of it, still is, So that's major for me, every time, because I'm glad that she gets to see it, witness it, and whether it's water that she wants to do or anything else, no wonder to know she can put her mind to it, Right.
Well, I think you provided an excellent example of what could happen and how we can all benefit from, taking the wheel by in our hands and driving our own sense of financial security, driving our own businesses. One of the principles I live by is to build and maintain our own buildings, shops, stores, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. And you're a living example of that. Your daughter has grown up. So, I tell you what, the world is definitely hers. The world is her oyster. I guess oysters live in the water too. Man, I tell you, this is just a beautiful sign, brother. We're going to close. We're going to come to a close, man. So any last words as we enjoy this great scene of a businessman holding his daughter and running his business? Any last words, brother? Any last words?
Appreciate Seiko having me on, man. Hey, listen, Family Springs, water, we're everywhere, and growing rapidly. We definitely want to have a conscious support, and like I said a conscious support, not looking for every dollar, but just a conscious one, So Family Springs, find us at familysprings.com and on Instagram, and tag us if, anytime you have a question. Right.
This show was brought to you by Positive Vibes Incorporated, our consulting services. We do credit fixes, we do tax resolution, we lend private money, and debt consolidation. So, if you need some of these services, we're waiting here for you. credit fixes, tax resolutions, private money, and debt consolidation. Make sure you call Positive Vibes Incorporated. Take care.
Stay fly, 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 stay fly.
The views expressed by the guests are only the views of the guests, unless we say we agree. Unless explicitly stated.
Stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly, stay fly,
stay fly. Stay conscious. Stay fly.